Meet the Sinensia stonefish, one of the most remarkable and dangerous fish found in the world's tropical coastal waters. An animal so perfectly disguised that it can look like nothing more than an ordinary rock resting on the ocean floor. The stonefish belongs to the genus Sinensia, and several species are recognized within this group, including the reef stonefish, Sinensia verrucosa, and the estuarine stonefish, Sinensia horrida. These fish are closely associated with shallow Indo-Pacific habitats, where rocky bottoms, coral rubble, reef flats, lagoons, tidal pools, and sheltered coastal environments provide ideal places to hide. The first thing that makes the stonefish extraordinary is its appearance. Instead of having the smooth, streamlined shape people normally associate with a fish, the stonefish has a broad, heavy-looking body, a large flattened head, rough and warty skin, irregular coloration, and an upward-facing mouth. Its skin can appear gray, brown, reddish, orange, or mottled, depending on the species and its surroundings, and algae or other growth can sometimes add even more disguise. This is not simply unusual decoration. It is one of the stonefish's most important survival systems. The fish can remain almost completely motionless against rocks, sand, coral rubble, and other material on the seabed, making it extremely difficult for predators and prey to recognize it. Some stonefish even partially bury themselves in the substrate, using their large pectoral fins to move sand and settle into a position where only small parts of the body may be obvious. This extraordinary camouflage gives the stonefish a powerful advantage because it is an ambush predator. Instead of actively chasing prey through the water, it waits. It can remain still while small fish or crustaceans move nearby, and when the opportunity appears, the stonefish suddenly opens its large mouth and creates a powerful suction that pulls the prey into its mouth. The attack happens so quickly that high-speed recording equipment is often needed to properly observe the feeding action. Its hunting strategy is therefore based on patience, camouflage, and explosive movement rather than long-distance pursuit. The stonefish's mouth is another fascinating feature. It is relatively large compared with the body and positioned in a way that supports its bottom-dwelling lifestyle. When a small fish or crustacean approaches close enough, the stonefish can rapidly expand its mouth and surrounding structures, drawing water and prey inward. This allows it to capture food with remarkable speed while spending very little energy waiting for the right moment. Its usual diet includes fish and crustaceans, although the exact diet can vary between species and habitats. The reef stonefish is primarily associated with marine environments, while some other Sinensia species can occupy estuarine or brackish conditions. The ability to live in different shallow water environments demonstrates how adaptable these unusual predators can be. Now comes the feature that gives the stonefish its worldwide reputation: venom. Stonefish are regarded as among the most venomous fish on Earth, and their dorsal fin contains specialized spines connected to venom glands. When a fish is disturbed or pressure is applied to the spines, the venom can be delivered through the specialized structure of the spines. This system is primarily defensive. The stonefish does not use its venom to kill prey. Instead, the venomous spines are an extremely effective protection against animals that might try to attack, swallow, or step on the fish. This creates an unusual combination of characteristics. The stonefish is visually passive but chemically dangerous. It does not need to chase threats away because its defensive spines provide a powerful warning and protection system. A stonefish sting can cause extremely severe pain and may produce serious medical effects, including cardiovascular and neurological complications. Severe envenomation can become life-threatening, which is why contact with stonefish should always be treated as a serious medical emergency. The risk is particularly significant because the fish's camouflage makes accidental contact possible. A person walking through shallow water may not realize that a stonefish is directly beneath their feet. The fish may not swim away like many other species would. Instead, it can remain in place and rely on its disguise and defensive spines. This is why people exploring tropical tidal pools, rocky shallows, Reefs and similar environments should avoid stepping on unknown objects and should use appropriate protective footwear where recommended. The stonefish's defensive strategy is a perfect example of how evolution can favor camouflage instead of speed. Many animals survive by running away from danger, but the stonefish takes the opposite approach. It becomes difficult to see. Its body texture resembles the environment. Its coloration changes with its surroundings, and its behavior is deliberately slow and inconspicuous. The animal effectively turns itself into part of the landscape. This makes the stonefish fascinating from a biological perspective because its most important weapon may be the ability to remain unnoticed. The stonefish's habitat extends across large parts of the Indo-Pacific. Synencia vericosa, the reef stonefish, has one of the broadest ranges, occurring from areas around the Red Sea and East Africa through parts of the Indian Ocean and Southeast Asia to regions of the Western and Central Pacific, including areas around Australia and French Polynesia. Synencia horrida has a different but overlapping distribution and is commonly associated with estuaries, sheltered coastal waters, shallow reef areas, and tidal environments. These habitats are dynamic. Tides rise and fall, water temperatures change, currents move sediment, and storms can reshape the seabed. The stonefish's ability to remain concealed among rocks and sediment allows it to function effectively in these constantly changing environments. Another interesting characteristic is its solitary nature. Stonefish are generally not schooling fish like sardines or some reef species. Their hunting method works better when each individual has its own ambush position. A single stonefish can settle into a suitable patch of reef, rubble, or sand and wait for prey. This lifestyle also reduces unnecessary competition for food. During daylight hours, a stonefish may remain almost completely motionless, relying heavily on camouflage. Some species become more active at night, when changing conditions provide new feeding opportunities. This does not mean the fish is constantly swimming after dark. Instead, its behavior remains closely connected to its ambush strategy and the availability of prey. Its stillness can be so convincing that even experienced observers may overlook it. This is one reason stonefish are popular subjects in marine biology and underwater photography. Finding one is almost like discovering a hidden object in a puzzle. Once you know what to look for, features such as the outline of the head, eyes, mouth, and dorsal spines become easier to identify, but at first glance the animal can appear indistinguishable from its surroundings. The stonefish's eyes are also adapted to its unusual lifestyle. They are positioned toward the upper portion of the head, allowing the fish to monitor what is happening above and around it while remaining close to the seabed. This is particularly useful for an animal that spends much of its time partially buried. Its broad head and upward-facing mouth work together with this position, allowing it to detect and capture prey moving overhead. The body is not built for long-distance swimming. Instead, the stonefish relies on short bursts of movement when necessary. This is another example of energy efficiency. Why spend energy constantly searching when camouflage allows the animal to wait for food to come close? The stonefish can remain still for long periods and then execute an extremely rapid feeding strike. That strategy is particularly effective in shallow reef ecosystems, where small fish and crustaceans regularly move between rocks and coral structures. Reproduction in stonefish is less familiar to the public than their venom.